This is the last session, but as they say, you save the best for last. I really mean it. I consider myself the best and the panelist. I'm saying it in a lighter way. But these are rock stars. Imagine trying to build a company that becomes the number one social media app. Aprameya Radhakrishnan is trying to do the same with Ku. So give Aprameya a big round of applause. I had a conversation and I walked so inspired one day having breakfast with me on my last trip. I can call all the four people on the panel my friends, and my colleague Sneha is here. She's worked 12 years with me. She's the head of Exchange for Media South. Mr. Laik. He's Mr. Laik. As in Punjabi mein Laik hota hai. Laik meaning padha likha. Laik meaning good, right? He's Mr. Laik because you missed. So today we have four media entrepreneurs, media tech entrepreneurs who are trying to build various parts of the media ecosystem for making sure that the Indian consumer, not only in India but in Bharat, gets to access the kind of content that exists. He or she uses the content to engage, entertain, educate. So let me start by asking each of the panelists for their opening comments, just to give you a brief idea of what they do, and they'll say, Aprameya Radhakrishna is the founder of Ku. You know how successful Ku is in a very short span of time. And the Indian language story is a big story. Imagine the numbers possible. And I want to give you an example. In the last 1 year, everyone discovered South Indian cinema. I mean, look at the scale of the South Indian cinema. Look at the numbers. An average movie which is 10, 20 crores, the budget makes 130 crores. So clearly the power of the Indian languages, that's the point. And Ku is trying to unlock that. And again, the world where India wants to be a superpower, clearly an Indian-owned app can help. So that's Aprameya Radhakrishnan with an ambition which is really, really gargantuan. Let me also introduce Mr. Siddhartha Laik. He is the founder of IWMBuzz. I met him about 5 years back when he just started. He used to work for another media website. And he's built IWMBuzz. IWMBuzz is right now number 4 on ComScore on the entertainment content. And I predict it, and I'll have to do a declaration that I am also part of them, which I only became 30 days, 40 days back, and formally, hopefully on Wednesday, a formal announcement. It was supposed to happen today, but so I know a bit about it. So that's the point I'm trying to make, is that I have a knowledge that they will be India's number 1 entertainment content destination in every format. And, I know how frugal they are and how driven he is. He calls me sometimes 6 times a day, very politely, Samridhi nahi, 6 se zyada mujhe phone mat karna. So, and last week they crossed 1 million subscribers organically on YouTube. So clearly IWMBuzz is a digital first product, and they do many IPs to bring the communities together. They just did the IWMBuzz OTT Awards, which had 110 A-lister celebrities, including Karthik, Aryan, and my daughter is a big Bollywood fan. She traveled with me to Bombay, and she couldn't get over that moment, so to say. She just wanted to be frozen in that moment. So clearly, he's trying to build something at a scale, already built 20 million traffic organically, is really, really huge and growing every day. Let me also introduce Samridhi Katyal. She is the founder of Fandrum. She and her husband Vipul Chaube started this. Vipul comes from the content side, and Samridhi comes from the content and business side. She was a very senior person at Colors, getting a multi-million-dollar salary, and she quit that. And she believed in her role. She was in a content role, business role. Then she was in a commercial role, talking to people who came for commercial contracts. And she realized that the fans of the media product are not being given an opportunity to be able to benefit. The media product benefits, everything else around it benefits, but the fans don't benefit. If a movie does well, yes, the fan enjoys the movie, takes a photo with the star, but what beyond that? So she's building Fandrum as a fan SaaS platform. She is working with creators. Again, I am involved with them, and I met her in a very strange way at a marriage. I was having I'd already had dinner, and I almost missed the marriage. her aunt is a movie maker, and I was eating jalebis and lots of rabdi with my friend Praveen Chauhan, and she comes up to me and says, "You're Annurag Batra of Exchange for Media?" I said, "Yeah, like good, like 600 people, somebody comes," and that's how I met her. And since then, we've been talking, and I'm finally part of Fandrum. And again, because of Exchange for Media, I do meet interesting startups in media tech space. And Sneha, we should do a media tech forum in a big way. But last but not the least is Shaurya Nigam of JustBaat. He has, again, very enviable credentials. He right now lives in Singapore, but is relocating to Noida, is originally from Lucknow. And he, JustBaat, for those of you who understand media, he was trying to build the tabula of audio. And he realized video is very big, and the publishers have an issue in terms of videos becoming big. How do you convert your text content into video without the context being lost? So he's done partnerships with major publishers, which I'm sure in the course of next few weeks he'll announce some of the top-notch publishers. Of course, we both at BW, Businessworld, and Exchange for Media will work with him in converting our text into video and audio in a jiffy on a SaaS model. So this is the nature of these startups. I would start with Aprameya to tell us what your ambition is from here onwards, and what are you doing to make that ambition? How are you bringing the next set of users on Ku? What are you doing in Indian languages? And what is the kind of wind you have with your wings?
Thanks a lot, Mr. Batra. Pleasure to be here and addressing all of you. Ku is just about two years and 4 months old, right? And we started around the start of the pandemic. And we started because one of our earlier users from a product called Vocals, which is for question and answers, right? A person who was answering questions on Vocals said, "Why should I only answer questions? I have so many thoughts in my mind, and I want to put it out there," right? That got us thinking as to why the person is not using existing platforms, right? That made us aware of what exactly social media is about, right? A Facebook, LinkedIn, WhatsApp are all closed networks, which means that you will only add your family and friends, and your voice, the common man's voice, only reaches your family and friends there. It doesn't go beyond, right? Instagram and Twitter are the two open social networks that are there, which means anybody can follow anybody, and the probability of what you say going to, even the chief minister of a state, right, is also there, right? In closed networks, that is not there. Only a famous guy can, create a page on Facebook and get millions of followers. The ordinary person can't. So when we double-clicked on Twitter, especially, because India is a country which has so many thoughts and opinions. Every single person has a thought and opinion, right? We saw that Twitter is a digital, network of English-speaking folks across the world, which has also attracted 1% of India to also be part of that network. But in the process has ignored 99% of the country, right? So 1% of India talking to each other is what Twitter is, right? 99% don't even have their voice on the internet. And
in some cases, thank God for it, but on a different level. But
so what we have done is unleash the 99%'s voice onto the internet. For a person sitting in a small town to be able to tag any minister, any cricketer that they love, Bollywood actor, and say whatever they want in their language and actually get a response, because this is not a platform which is made only for the English. Here, Virat Kohli talks to the audience in Hindi and any other language. Here, Karan Johar will talk to people in Hindi and other languages. So the mood that we have created is one that gives confidence for people who don't know English also to express.
Beautiful, beautiful. Right? And it's a huge opportunity, and at the scale that we are doing. And let me ask you one more question, Aprameya. How will this transition happen? And let me ask, how many of you are on Ku? 1, 2. So it's an opportunity for you to download Coup.
Yeah,
How many of you
absolutely.
will go and download Coup? How many of you will go and download Coup? Okay, good.
No, so it's not because sir is asking you, but I'll give you logical reasons to download Coup. If you want to be a voice of influence in India, you have to download Coup because we've created tools for you to be able to keep expressing in English, but quickly translate and direct your messages to other communities as well. No other social media app helps you do that. And you will gain followers in each language, which again, you don't have an opportunity to do anywhere else. So this
You
is
have
the
in
logic.
Punjabi also?
Yeah, we're in Punjabi.
Okay, good. Arvinda,
Right.
you and me will download the Punjabi one.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, here is an Indian entrepreneur trying to make it in a very competitive, because social media is a lot about technology. It's a lot about algorithms. It is a lot about a lot of related aspects, and that means capital. That means competing with global biggies, right? And everybody wants to have a slice of India. I mean, just to Aprameya, we are supposed to be in a winter of investing. Even in that winter of investing, in the last 6 months, $14.1 billion has been raised by homegrown funds and invested, which was $4.2 billion last year. This is in the winter, so I don't know when summer and spring come, what will be this number. So clearly, and a gentleman who runs venture capital, and I met him for Dr. Apurv, I met him for the first time. He's predicted that we'll have more than 200, 300 of the 1,000 unicorns in the next 10 years, or maybe earlier. So clearly, he's invested in 300 companies. So clearly, he has a point of view, which is nuanced. It is not just a general point of view. So clearly, good luck to you. And how will this adoption happen? What is your route that you're taking, Aprameya, to adoption is what I'll come back to you after everyone. Mr. Laik, you've been able to create IWMBuzz, Siddhartha, in a very short span of time. Give us, how does it empower the audience that Aprameya is targeting, which is beyond metros, which is beyond English?
Thank you, sir, for the opportunity. And before I begin, I want to thank my partners, Franklin and Sri, for helping me build this together. Sir,
Mr. Franklin Toscano, his name sounds like an Italian mafia boss, but he's a very gentle and nice person. I can say that in my interactions.
Absolutely, sir. You can't do it alone. You need good partners along. Sir, once we started IWMBuzz.com, I'm sure many people won't be aware of the domain at this point of time.
However, tell them the story. How did it come to get known as IWMBuzz?
So it was earlier called Indian Wikimedia. So we are a bootstrap startup in 2-3 months, and we get sued by Wikipedia for no rhyme.
No, they got sued by very famous people. One they can't talk about legally. I can.
We can talk. Yeah, you can.
I can talk. You cannot.
Yeah. So Nicolas Cage.
They got 2 months back. They got sued by Nicolas Cage. I mean.
So sometimes you wonder that are these real, because we are a small office from Malad in Bombay, and he's from San Francisco, fancy place. Like, how would they care for an office in Malad in Bombay? But these were all genuine cases. So we got sued by Wikipedia, and they told us come and fight us in foreign land somewhere. We couldn't afford it. So IWMBuzz is quite a mouthful, not a great name. So BuzzFeed ka buzz laga diya. Indian Wikimedia IWM bol rahe the, to chal gaya. So, but still now...
And I maintain that Sachin Tendulkar, by any other name, would be the greatest cricketer India has produced or the world has produced, right? So names have a meaning, but what you do lends a meaning to the name. So really, what you do with IWMBuzz has made you what it has made you.
So just to continue, when we started in the internet publishing space, initially we were focused too much in the Bollywood market or the television space, the Jethalals of the world and Ranveers of the world. So our growth got stagnant.
They started from TV celebrities.
Yeah.
So started doing content around TV celebrities, and then over a period of time, pretty much became entertainment, of which TV became a small part.
And we were, even if people did not know, because, like NDTVs and Times of Indias of the world, people log into NDTV or Times of India, but we were essentially part of the search ecosystem. So you might not have logged into IWMBuzz.com, but surely you would have come across an article which has been given to us. We gave this to Google News or Facebook. So search ecosystem, keyword ecosystem helped us grow. But then when I, Franklin and all of kind of brainstorming that how do we grow our audience, then we came down south. So we started covering the south keywords like Nayantara and KGF and everyone's. And the readership growth that we saw was phenomenal. So then we went to the Bhojpuri market coverage, we went to the Bengal market. So we expanded the keyword when it came to the coverage the editorial team was doing. And then we kind of shot up from 5 million to 10 million to 20 million plus. So this is a 80 million ecosystem as per ComScore. We command about 20 million plus organically. Of course, there are big daddies like Times of India. We're the only independently owned in the ladder competing with big daddies. But we are constantly evolving. Our average age in the company is 24, 25. A lot of our writers are actually consumers of the medium. At times, we don't understand what is happening in an Insta reel or what Koo is doing. How can we put our content there so that our engagement increases? So we are very open to feedback. We have English and Hindi as a medium of language communication with the end user, but we have covering all keyword ecosystem in the entertainment space, and then we have diversified into gaming, tech, home decor, lifestyle, whatever is part of the internet addiction, or addiction is I hope it's a positive word, but internet consumption pattern, you listen, you watch, you buy. We are catering to that audience, and our goal, like we were discussing with Annurag sir, that we have great audience base down south. So one of my co-founders sits out of Chennai, and in the next 1 year, hopefully, we will be available in all languages. It's a difficult market I'm a Bengali from West Bengal, so understanding is a difficult market, but we have to get the right talent, because this is where I believe there's huge potential when it comes to more advertising revenues, of course. So this is
I can tell you that I met them from the day they started, and I've seen how frugally they've built a very profitable company, but more than profitable, they've built a franchise which is just sitting on a gold mine and growing every day. And the passion with which they get into detailing and small things as a founder, which I used to do when the company was smaller.
We are very conjuice. No matter what, we are very conjuice.
Being frugal is good, and that's one aspect. But the overall approach, I am very enthused and I learn from them, I learn a lot of things I don't tell them. But Samridhi, let me bring you into the conversation. What's happening? How do the fans all over India become part of this growth that the entertainment media is creating for the stars? The fans are not getting there. What is the ROI for the fan?
There is no ROI for the fans. I will just take from what he said that, Facebook was really meant to connect friends and family together. They are connected. LinkedIn was meant to connect professionals all around the world. They are connected. Twitter, I don't believe in, as he said, it's 1% or 2% of India. But people are watching 3 to 4 hour average minimum content every day, right? There is no, and they're watching it alone. And there needs to be a community where they can come together and celebrate it together. Not just watch it. When I'm watching a show for 10 years or something, I'm in relationship with the show, right? Whatever happens to the characters, I become integral part of what I'm watching. I need to discuss it.
चैनल कौन सा देखते हो आप समृद्धि?
सर कोई नहीं.
Sony News Channel.
मैं कोई न्यूज़ चैनल नहीं देखती सर.
That's not good.
सर मैं एंटरटेनमेंट में हूँ, न्यूज़ क्यों देखना है?
But you don't look up to news anchor.
No.
I tell you, one of his friends who's Bengali asked me. I will tell you his name.
Sir, I want to increase the happiness index of India. I don't think news is the way to go.
Let's try to keep it light.
Yeah.
Yes,
So on the happiness index, we are very low. So I think the fundamental pillar that we want to build is give people happiness and stay away from news. No matter how much we are at loss from that angle, I'm happy to take it.
Yeah, but you go on about the fan economy that you would.
Yes, sir. So, sir, the whole system was that people need to be connected around the world. As Facebook pe communities exist karti hain, their communities exist on every world, but they're scattered and fragmented. Neither the fans get recognized for being a fan. How do I know that you are a fan? And fans don't exist if they don't belong to a community. Then you're just an individual, right? So we are giving people a place where they can be a fan. The more you communicate, the more you engage. It's a fully gamified platform, right? So the more you engage, you become a mayor, a moderator, and a super fan. So you get distinguished. Super fan, mayors, moderators.
You're gifting me that super fan book, na?
Sir, I have to. I'm giving you more equity if you read that. I promised you that. So everybody, you should read that book called Super Fans.
Any book you have to recommend to me to read?
He's not giving you equity. He's very frugal. So yeah, so the idea is to celebrate fan in its essence, right? So if I'm a Shah Rukh Khan fan, the biggest day that I remember today is meeting Shah Rukh Khan, right? Whether it was holding his hand. So fans don't become overnight. The moments that you create for those people, they become fans. And for these, we want to create for the audience to become from a casual viewers to the fan and take them through the entire journey and build those small soul moments for them and give them their lifetime experience.
I'm a big fan of Kapil Sharma.
Yeah,
Can you take me into the
sir,
Kapil Sharma
the whole platform started with my mother becoming a superhero in her colony, where the only job I did in Star was making her friends go to Kapil Sharma. Being the head of Star Plus commercial, my only job was to entertain her friends. You never asked, sir. So that's where we realized that, and they used to make my mother a celebrity to another level, and that's where we realized we in the media ecosystem have connects to everybody and we can send them, but they're not necessarily fans. So we want to democratize the whole platform of being a fan. You don't have to necessarily have the money to buy a Filmfare 1 lakh or a 1 crore ticket. We will give you, if you are a fan, to sponsor that for you to be the voice of a fan. A super fan, like how you elect your politicians, right? So super fan is a person elected by the community to represent their community. And fans change culture, sir. BTS Army has changed the entire culture of a community. So communities change the culture. And here is a platform that we want to really build for loneliness to go away, that people that's creeping into the hole, and celebrate them for not for being a fan, not discard them ki broadcaster will earn or a celebrity will earn, everybody else will earn. But a content is only successful when it's viral. And thus virality is created by fans, sir. They need to be equally validated in the ecosystem for them to have a stake. They should become the part of the ecosystem and have a stake in the content they want to watch.
Absolutely.
So that's the whole thing, sir, we are trying to do.
I love news anchors, by the way, I must tell you.
I agree, sir. There is a different part of it. Who is solving for?
Yeah. Now let's go to you, Shaurya. You're again trying to solve a problem. You started with a certain problem and then expanded it. Tell us, what is the opportunity for Indian language media especially? Of course, English is English. It is an important part of what we do in media. But give a sense of what is JustBaat trying to achieve.
So JustBaat started with a very simple problem statement. So what we realized was, and I used to work with Airtel for quite long, and while we used to claim that the internet penetration is growing, consumption is growing, and internet is still English, right? We started out of the Silicon Valley and we've been revolving around the education, the people who are educated. The best shot beyond English that we've given is Hindi. Right? We still haven't gotten to vernacular and other languages. That's one. Second, the new to internet users who are coming on board, they are not used to reading. Reading on internet is a gone phenomena, right? I mean, there was a time where you would see the Ola Uber driver or the cab driver buying a newspaper in the morning and reading it. But now he's investing a lot of time on Instagram Reels. But does he go to Jagran or Amar Ujala or Times of India and reads there? No. Internet is all about audio-visual communication more as compared to reading. So this is where we wanted to come in. We wanted to enable the new to internet users to start consuming content in their own language. And hence, we started off with the audio format. But then soon we realized that while we will enable audio, if we could add visual elements more, probably it will be more engaging. And of course, we did a couple of tests. We were able to crack the technology. And now we have this tech. In fact, we've built a beautiful tech where we can literally convert any article into a video on the fly. So we for lack of a better word, we call it the meta-human technology. It's related to metaverse. So every article gets converted into a video. And in multiple languages, we could do that conversion. So the article could be in Hindi, but we could convert that into a Punjabi, Tamil, Telugu. And once we do that, we also take the experience forward by building a parallel network to
Again, internet is monopolized by Google and Facebook.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
And everybody else doesn't matter.
Correct.
Our friends Umang and Viru and Umang are trying to build whatever they're trying to build in Delhi. And there are other Indian entrepreneurs who are trying to take up that position. But clearly there is a big opportunity there.
Absolutely.
Now let me ask you, Aprameya, what is your route that you're taking and what should we expect from Ku in the future?
Yeah, so we have 3 pillars around which we disrupt global social media. One is build a product that is super local. Means language, culture, everything intact. Make it cool, to actually talk in languages. Today we're all talking in English because we're all used to it.
It's a language
But
of business.
correct, language of business.
But sometimes I still go into Hindi. I don't
Yeah.
know Kannada.
Yeah.
I still.
And it also unifies us.
Right.
Right? I might start talking in Kannada, you won't understand. So English is unifying us for business.
And it is
But-
a language for business, let's say.
Yeah, correct. So one is build deeper products for language and culture. Second, we actually are saying, you have to follow the law of land, right? Freedom, the definition of freedom of speech has been defined by a country. And a private company from outside cannot overrule that, right? So wherever we go, so we will go international as well. Even if you go to Saudi Arabia, we will say, what is your definition of freedom of speech? And adapt it into the Saudi Arabia coup guidelines. And not say, you follow what India follows. Correct. In Arabic, right? And we will never force Indian way of freedom of speech onto Saudi Arabia.
Cultural sensitivities.
Correct. So that's the second pillar, which is a long-term benefit for us. And third, user and creator have never benefited directly from the money earned by a platform. So we want to decentralize that as well. We want to give the user, we want to give the creator avenues to earn on the platform because we are a developing country. As in, sitting and watching content and getting influenced by it is at one level. Last 15 years we've done it and we've gotten used to it and we're now bored. Now what beyond that? Can I do something beyond that and earn money as well? Is a question that every Indian has. And we will answer that. So these three pillars.
Siddhartha, how do you see more and more people seeing cross-pollination of content? For example, I don't want South cinema unless until the 2-3 friends of mine, Dilip Venkatraman, will tell me, Annurag, watch that movie, that's very good. Right? How is there a possibility of cross-pollination, and both from a fan standpoint and also from the star standpoint? For example, the South Indian stars, I'm involved with a project where Devarakonda. I didn't know who was Devarakonda till 3 months back. Somebody told me and made me.
Vijay Deverakonda. Yeah.
Vijay Devarakonda. But I realized it's big, right? But I didn't know, right? Of course, there are bigger other names that I know. So is there an opportunity for the South stars to become even big stars nationally? And can IWMBuzz kind of platform and other platforms play a role in that?
Sir, to answer your question, I believe they already are pan-India, pan-global stars. If you see in the last 6 months or 1 year, maximum Bollywood box office hits have also come from movies like Pushpa or KGF or RRR, who are absolutely made down south here. Sir, during COVID, when people were sitting at home and where they had more time, lot new content was explored via OTT or via internet or via Facebook, any other medium. This is where I believe, sir, if you're making a good movie and if it has good translation down, if it has good, the translation is good enough in different languages, I think people will watch it. So it's not only about the movies coming from anywhere, but they are already huge stars, sir. And this is supported by the analytics that we do. It's not that I'm saying that just because someone has got a huge box office hit, he's huge. But when I write an article, say on Vijay or Yash or say for that matter Fahad Fazil, I don't know.
I don't know.
So if you write on him,
I hope he knows about me.
vis-a-vis you're writing say on a Karthik or a Ranbir or a Ranveer,
Who are they, by the way?
they're also.
Oh, you mean Karthik Aryan and
Karthik
Ranbir.
Aryan.
I'm kidding.
So the article is being read from across India, in fact from global pockets also, because we are internet, we are in more than 150 countries. So you can see the analytics clearly that people want to know more about them. So how we can benefit, of course, is writing more and more about them so that...
Shaurya saying writing mein kuch nahi hota. You got to do video now.
Of course, so be it video, be it writing, so when we write, he will translate into videos. So the medium can be as per the consumer's choice. So there is still a heavy audience who wants to read.
Let me ask you, Siddhartha, a loaded question, since I have familiarity with what you do. there is IFA. IFA took Indian cinemas to the world, right? And then Times of India, of course, wants to do everything that anybody does, right? And they said, did Toifa. There is. You see, there is an opportunity to take you as IWMBuzz. I mean, I saw the IWMBuzz OTT awards and they were spectacular. There's no other word. I knew that it would be
Thank you,
good.
sir.
So do you see there's an opportunity to create more formats, maybe a little differentiated than IFA? IFA is definitely the best in that space. There's no question. And take Indian cinemas multiple times. If IFA happens once, maybe you'll do. So are you planning more IPs in that space?
100%, sir. My first immediate focus is, of course, to bring the IPs that are successful in the so-called North Indian and Bombay market over here, because there's a lot of synergies and similarity of content creators who are traveling to and fro. Not only that, like players like Netflix Prime, Z5, Wood, AHA, which is from down south, they have a great synergy between both the markets. So immediate is, of course, to look down home and create opportunities. Once that is successful, we'll learn from how the synergy happens, and then maybe we can replicate and go global. क्योंकि वहाँ जाके गलती करेंगे तो बहुत मुश्किल होगा, पैसे खर्च होंगे, यहाँ सीख लेंगे और फिर global लेके जाएंगे, sir.
Samridhi, what is the future of fan engagement in India? Give us a glimpse. Gives us a scenario of when you're able to. I know that you want to launch a fan index.
Fan value index.
What is it?
Fan
called?
value index.
Fan value index, which is very scientific and very detailed. I know the kind of passion you have in this domain and the belief that fans need to get better value out of their fan engagement. Give us a scenario 1 or 2 years down the line.
Sir, the immediate thing is if we can celebrate 100 fans and give them their dreams, that's the first year plan, right? And give them a voice in the choice of content that they want to watch. Right now, only 5% content is successful, right? There is a certain reason that people are talking and the other side is not listening. If we can make 2 shows that fans really want to watch, that's the success of Fandrum. So on global scale, you can see all the bigger things, right? Star Trek was about to get cancelled if fan didn't protest, and we would have lost Star Trek. We would have lost John Wick if fans were not part of it, right? Sir, in China, the biggest thing is fans are paying their own money and buying hoardings for their movies in a thing like Times Square in China, right? So it's a fan economy. Imagine if 100, with the kind of population that India has, fans come together in a crowdfunding and make a movie that they want to do. It's a choice of where we give them the power, sir. If you take 10 rupees from a fan and they want to choose a movie, how much does a movie cost? 50 crores, 60 crores. Imagine 10 people doing that. How many fans do you need that? So it's really giving the power to the fan and getting them to have a say in the content that they want to watch. The content that was.
पिक्चर में मेरे को रोल दिलवा दोगे?
Sir, मेरी मासी कर सकती हो.
अच्छा, मैं आपकी मासी से बात करता हूँ.
Sorry. So the content that was just produced yesterday, it will take a normal person 68 years to watch the content that was produced just yesterday. So imagine the kind of content that is being produced, and the discovery is what Fandrum is like. People will watch like-minded, people will recommend like-minded content, right? So Fandrum is trying to help the entire ecosystem with their discovery, with the kind of content choices that they make, and that give the power to the fans, simply.
Shaurya, if I talk to you 12 to 18 months from now, what would have JustBaat achieved, and what would be the impact on the consumers of content?
So absolutely. So while we are enabling publishers to convert text to video, we are also enabling a lot of cross-pollination. By once we convert that video in a way is a co-ownership between us and the publisher. And then we also use that space to recommend more and more content. As Samridhi just mentioned that, see, we are also solving for content discovery and engagement. These are the 2 problem statements that we are solving for. The reason why we are converting text to video is only because of engagement. The idea is to enable engagement on the publisher platforms, whether it is with their own content or by building or by bringing in the content that people want to consume. And in fact, most of the publishers have also realized that people come in to consume content, but not necessarily mine, which is why a lot of cross-pollination has started happening, and we are here to enable that.
Thank you. Since this is a Businessworld Unicorn Summit, it's the first year. We've had 12 unicorn founders already, and we have, I think, 4 tomorrow. let me start with Aprameya. When will Ku be a unicorn? Do you think about it? Or
Well,
it doesn't matter?
I actually think unicorn is a great place to start, right? Becoming the most valued startup from India ever is something that is inspiring us to become better.
Fantastic.
Right?
I love your ambition.
Yeah.
I love the scale that at which you think and what you're trying to attempt. Put your money where your mouth is, and you're yourself a very successful angel investor in many areas. I only know of 2-3 that we discussed. So clearly, when do you think Ku will turn into a unicorn? Is there a timeline?
Well, I think it can happen tomorrow. It can happen, in a few months, a year. You never know what happens, right? So,
Absolutely.
but our goal, as I said, so I don't want to think about valuations as much as I think about, Ku being the flag bearer of Indian technology to the world. We want to do what TikTok did from China to the world with Ku from India, right? The entire world should use Ku, and we should be proud of it as every Indian.
Fantastic. I read a book, not fully, about 20 pages on the flight yesterday, called Super Founders. And it is difficult to hold me into a book and I couldn't put the book down. And the founder who's invested Silicon Valley founder, Muslim name, and he says in a domain where there's lack of public data on their revenue, on their profitability, unicorn is a good directional. So it is not, should be the word. So, at least it means that there's some value either being created today or there's a promise to create value. And that's a good thing. Siddhartha, IWMBuzz, unicorn banega?
बन सकता है sir, but for us right now we need to focus on the immediate plans, the steps that are immediate, focus on profitability. अगर छोटे-छोटे चीजें अच्छे करते जाएंगे तो एक दिन बन जाएंगे sir.
Thank you. And I must say, when I met Samridhi, I started discussing our business plan with her. I met her, Samridhi and Vipul, both couple of times. Mr. Nigam,
So we've just started, and of course,
you're a pre-revenue company right
we're
now.
a pre-revenue company right now.
So you launch next month. You launch.
Yes, so we are going commercially live next month, but hopefully, so see, our objective is to engage and get content discovery across platforms. And in the future, it's going to be a mesh economy. Not one single user cannot be owned by a single platform. There will be multiple platforms, multiple users, and there will be people cutting across. We're the ones who are cutting across. Hopefully, we might. Let's see how it goes.
Give them a big round of applause. They're building in the media tech space, which is a very competitive, capital-intensive, long-term business where there are many factors at play. My last question to all of you, and if there are 1 or 2 questions from the audience, I want you all to make a prediction or a couple of predictions from the future in the content, platform, media tech domain. Let me start with you, Shaurya, first. Your prediction or set of predictions for the future.
So the growth has to come in from vernacular. Half of the country is still not using internet, right? We have to get as close to the user as we could. So for example, right now I'm in Bangalore. I hail from Lucknow. If I bump into somebody who's from Lucknow, I will love to talk to him. I love to know him more, right?
Naturally.
So you have to get close to the user. Right now, internet is not close to the user. So my prediction is whosoever is able to move fast in the vernacular game will win the customer first.
Well, I don't use the word vernacular because once I will Google exact verbatim language. So one of those verbatim translation is language of the slaves. So I use the word Indian language.
Indian languages. I stand corrected.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I'm married, so I understand the language of slaves. But that's another topic by itself.
Just one more point there. So what we also mistake about is that we call Bhojpuri a language, for example. Right? Bhojpuri is not a language. Bhojpuri is a region. The language is
But
Maithili.
It's a dialect.
It's a dialect, right?
But I mean, it's not a language in the sense, but it's a dialect.
Correct. So language is like Maithili is a language. Dialect. So we have to go close to the dialects, not just languages.
Your prediction is that the Indian language growth will be massive. That's
Massive.
What you're saying. in a nutshell.
Yes.
Samridhi, your prediction or set of predictions?
So my set of prediction is in the next 5 years, 100 movies will be produced by fans.
Wow. Wow. Again, I'm not kidding. One of the joys of my job is I meet people who are really changing the world, who are doing pioneering things. I learned so much about the fan economy in my interactions with Samridhi and people. I learned so much about what's happening in the entertainment content space every time I talk to Siddhartha. Of course, Aprameya, I don't meet that often, but hopefully I will and learn more. But your predictions, Aprameya, for the media space, for the social media space, for the content tech and media tech space.
So, I don't know how many of you have watched Black Mirror, right?
Black Mirror.
Mirror.
Okay, I haven't watched. Black Mirror.
So there's this episode where, there's people capture their whole day using a lens, and then they review what's happened, go into detail of every reaction in the real world. So all of that is going to... So I think that's not too far away. I think there will be devices which all of us will wear, capture every little moment, and we will look for reactions not just in the real world, but also select some of those moments to upload onto the public domain and get reactions there as well. So
wow.
Yeah, so the number, so we are getting lazier and lazier, right? Now to take out your phone, press the camera button and then hold it and capture a moment also is becoming a problem, right? So all of that will be solved, and some of it we'll also solve. So this will be the future.
Fantastic. Finally, Mr. Laik, your set of predictions. Do you think Arnab will be calmer on Indian news television?
No way. I think he's already, sir, is a little calmer, I feel, these days.
I watched him on Tuesday, when this Monday or Tuesday, in my hotel room in Bombay, where the last cop, of Mumbai police, so I saw Arnab is an old authority, Mumbai, all that he was doing, but that's another. On a serious note, predictions for future.
Sir, if I look, say, in the next few years, if not too much into the future, I believe that, like you mentioned, that dominance of Google and Facebook is still there when it comes to social engagement or social conversation in India. I think that's going to change, and homegrown companies like Ku will have more dominance when it comes to engaging with the Indian audiences, because we have a strong diaspora also. So I feel that's change going to happen definitely, and Google and Facebook of the world are absolutely feeling the heat, but I think Indian companies will go global when it comes to social networking, definitely.
So, how many of you will download IWMBuzz app?
Sab hath kar do yaar.
So, how many of you already agreed to download the Ku app, right? Yeah, support your Indian Atmanirbhar.
Yes,
in
yes.
your language. And Samridhi's Fandrum app, how many of you? Yeah, good. Shaurya, your product also they can consume. Absolutely. Your product is a more B2B with a, so
but we'll be there where you are.
Where you are. Through partnership. Aprameya, I can't let you by without asking this question. What do you think of what Elon Musk did with Twitter?
See, Elon Musk's mind was running in the right direction, right? Like he has
a mind.
Of course.
Okay. Breaking news, Elon Musk has a mind.
No,
and it works.
He has a company called Neuralink, which puts chips into people's minds. He has a satellite...
Chips, banana chips. Those chips, right. Sorry.
And he has a, satellite internet company.
By the way, he fathered the kids with one of the employees.
Oh, yeah. Correct. Neuralink.
See, I remember such stories more.
So it made logical sense to actually own a use case where people are readily sharing their thoughts. So finally, his plan must have been...
Minority Report.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it came 15 years back.
Yeah, correct. So he's playing that out in real life. Yeah. And, as soon as he found that, most of the users there were bots, that dream didn't play out as well.
Most of the users on Twitter are bots?
Yeah, that's what he's claiming. I don't want to comment on it, but... yeah.
A lot of them are bots. Percentage
Correct, correct.
There is a large percentage.
And that's why he's pulling out. So, as in, if it's not going to help him play out his larger dream.
By the way, you know what is my nickname?
What's that?
I used to send out a lot more emails than I do these days. So my kids call me Bot and Batra. So I send my kids also mails on important things. Yeah. So anyway, so I'm Batra.
Awesome.
Some people ask, so you reply the mails. I said, no, there is a bot called Batra that replies the mails. But
If it's replying at 3 a.m., it's Batra.
yeah. So thank you. So clearly you believe that his thought process was right, but he encountered a large number of bots and he changed his mind. So thank you for that analysis. Any questions to Siddhartha, Aprameya, Samridhi or Shaurya? There is one question from Sneha. Anyway, if I didn't, she'll put it out on Facebook tomorrow. I try to read her Facebook to see how her mood is. And then I tell Naval who increases her target for the month. Thank you so much. Please give Aprameya, Shaurya and Siddhartha a big round of applause. Thank you for being such a good audience. At the fag end of the day, I was a little worried. For all those we promised to pay, we will. No, I'm kidding.